The single agent finishes and here is its total tokens count. And after that, the crew runs the same task and look at that. The crew spent multiples of what the single agent did for the identical result. Same input, same rubric, identical output. My 4-agent crew burned roughly 3 times the tokens a single agent did. You know that feeling. Your crew works, but it's slow, the build's weird, and you can't tell which agent tanked the run. Deep down, you suspect the orchestration is mostly theater. Problem is, you don't have receipts to justify tearing it out. And today we get the receipts. So the idea is that simple. Take those 4 specialists, the planner, extractor, assembler, reviewer, and fold all their jobs into one system prompt. Give that single agent the same 3 tools and let it loop. No handoffs, no message passing, and no framework tags. Alright, here is why the crew costs more. Every handoff resends context. The planner's output becomes the extractor's input, plus its own system prompt, plus the docs again. 4 agents means you're paying to reread the same context 4 times. The single agent keeps everything in one loop, so it reads the context once and reuses it. That's the whole thesis. Now let's get the project set up. We need 2 libraries that do everything here. Anthropic gives us the raw tool calling loop for the single agent. CrewAI is what the 4-agent crew runs on, so we need it to measure the thing we are arguing against. And the next thing we need to do is to set the Anthropic API key. I have also prepared 2 documents that we'll need later for the actual testing. You can find those in the repository down below. After that we create our first file called tools.py. So here is the rule that keeps this fair. Both crew and the single agent get the exact same 3 tools, and neither side gets an edge. The first tools are 2 plain file input-output tools. And now this little function is the whole reason we can say both outputs are equal. It's the pass gate from the setup. There is no model call and no judgment here, just a hard field check. It reads the report and looks for every required field. If you miss one, it returns fail with what's missing. Hit them all and it returns pass. Keeping this deterministic actually matters a lot. If verify called another model, it would burn tokens and pollute the exact number we are trying to measure. Alright, next we create the agent.py file. This is the move the whole video is about. The crew had 4 agents, a planner, an extractor, assembler, and a reviewer. Here, all 4 jobs go into the system prompt. It's the same responsibilities in one brain with no handoffs between them. You can read the prompt and you can see the 4 rows sitting right there in plain English. It plans, extracts, assembles, and then verifies and fixes. Dispatch just maps each tool name to real function from tools.py. That's all the wiring the loop actually needs. So the agent can't use a tool it can't see. These schemas are how the model learns what's available. Instead of handwriting 3 near identical JSON blobs, this little helper builds them for us. Each tool gets a name, a 1-line description, and its string arguments. Read file and verify both get a path, and write file takes also content. Notice that the description stays short on purpose. The model reads this, so vague text right here means worse tool calls later. Now this is the core and it's more than the crew's config file. The whole agent is one loop. We send the task, the model thinks, and when it wants a tool, we run it and hand back the results. That repeats until it stops asking for tools. This is the raw tool calling pattern from the theory with no framework on top. Now here is the line that matters for this whole video. Every pass through the loop, we add the input and output tokens from the response usage. That running total is the receipt counted straight from the API instead of estimated. The range cap is just a seed belt. If verify never passes, we stop after 12 rounds instead of spinning forever. So that is the whole challenger. Now let's rebuild the thing we are racing it against. Next we create the crew.py file. And here we build the thing we are racing against. We have the same task but 4 agents instead of 1. First, the crew needs the same 3 tools or the comparison isn't fair. CrewAI routes through light LLM, so notice the Anthropic /prefix on the model string. That is the same Sonnet model, just a different string format. And we wrap the exact functions from tools.py because passing raw functions straight in throws a validation error here. So we have the same tools and the same model. The only thing about to change is the architecture. So here is the overbuild made visible. One job becomes 4 agents. The planner plans, the extractor pulls the fields, the assembler writes the reports, and the reviewer checks it. Each one gets only the tools it needs, which is the tidy textbook way to do it. And that tidiness is exactly what we're about to put a price tag on. Read down the list and you can feel it already. 4 rows, 4 sets of instructions for a job one agent just did alone. And this is the line that costs you money. See the context equals bracket on each task. That is a handoff. Each agent's output gets passed as context into the next one on top of its own instructions and the docs. So the planner's work writes along into the extractor, then all of that writes into the assembler, and so on down the chain. 4 handoffs mean the context gets resent and rebuilt at every step. We assemble them sequentially and we hand back the crew. Now both sides exist, so let's raise them. The bench.py is the final file for this video. Here we run the bench and both numbers land side by side. Let's open the terminal and run the bench.py. The single agent finishes and here is its total tokens count. And after that, the crew runs the same task and look at that. The crew spent multiples of what the single agent did for the identical result. That number right there is your receipt. So next time someone defends the crew in a design review, you just put this on screen. Alright, let's look at what you've got now. A single tool using agent that clears the exact same rubric your 4 agents crew did with the same model and same tools. You have got a real token number next to it and not a vibe. So next time a design review says the crew buys your specialization, you can pull up the meter and show the cost. Here is your move. Take one crew you have already shipped, rebuild the smallest piece as a single agent and measure both. When the handoffs earn their tokens, keep them. If they don't, you have got the receipts to cut them. And if this saved you an argument, hit subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.